Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is me Omar, and today I'm going to explain the scenario, a little bit of your architecture as well, on-premises network as well, underlying network. Yeah, we'll be taking an example, a scenario where we want to build an application of video calling for patients. Patient could call doctors and be able to take prescription by telling their symptoms and pay for the services they have taken. So let's go through what is going on here. On this side, on the left side, we have on-premises network. On this area we have our cloud. In the middle we have different WAN interfaces, WAN links. Yeah, so the requirement is we need to use Microsoft tools and technology, Microsoft .NET ASP, yeah, and we need to use SQL as our database. We are working currently on some on-premises environment, but we need to upgrade our solution because the client has given us, like, let's say 3 months time to build this application for him. This application is really useful and it should be scalable. It should allow auto scaling as well, and many other services. Yeah, so let's go through. First, we buy a domain, we develop an application on premises, do the testing, continuous deployment, and then we take it to cloud level 1 staging, and then finally we release it on our production site. That is the goal we have. What we need to do is, because we are working currently on our own on-premises network as well in local software house, so we need to select and plan how can we go on cloud, what are the steps required. First of all, we need to understand that which type of architecture we'll be using, which type of services we'll be taking from our cloud. What is cloud? Cloud is basically a data center. They have lots and lots of services, network switches, routers, connected together. It's a huge firm. They have their own generators, the electricity generators, and of course they have different power sources. They have their own cooling system. Why we need to go on cloud? Because of two reasons. Because cloud is a data center which is mostly present in every continent except Arctic Ocean or Antarctica, because it's too cold there and very few people are living there. Alright, let's suppose our customers are in United Kingdom. They are living in UK, mainly in London, and we are sitting in Lahore. We have a software house here. We need to build application which can be used in there in UK, and the doctors should be able to facilitate their patient sitting from home, this or maybe in office. Yeah, it should work in both scenarios. So the cloud will allow us to use UK based data centers, and we'll be purchasing their services, and we'll be able to run our website or application there on that data center which is in UK. It will reduce latency, it will reduce our cost of buying new equipment, having all the electricity, surveillance cameras, installation cost, and of course UPS and other costs as well, cooling costs. Yeah, so that's why we need to use cloud services for this application. In this scenario, we'll be going for there are three different type of services. You can go for software as a services, where you will be buying ready-made services, software, for example Office 365 or Salesforce or any other. Yeah, or you can go for platform as service. Platform as service means you'll be buying SQL instances, Active Directory, or different tools, and you'll be combining them, web services, and building your own tool or application. And the third is the first level of cloud services, is you have more freedom, but you are going to purchase a virtual machine in their environment on their server, or containers, or maybe you want to select different type of storages for that. So how they will be able to provide you services. Data center works something like this. First they buy all the hardware, put it together. They have the different type of SAN storage areas, server farms, SAN network switches, routers, and firewall, which is physical equipment. And then they have like 10G or 40G of network. They connect it together. Once it's all connected, they will turn it on. Once the physical network is very old, the machines, all the servers are accessible, the storage is working fine, At that time they will install the first hypervisor which will be able to hold all the virtual machines. So for example, they go for a VMware hypervisor. After installing VMware hypervisor, they will create lots and lots of different portions of their storage, of their network side, of their compute side, of their RAM side. So for doing that, they will be able, they can use, for example, VMware NSX to virtualize the whole environment. So if I want to go there in their data center virtually and get a router or switch, I should be able to get different type of services. I should be able to do my own routing, my own firewall should be there, my own let's suppose I have 10 virtual machines, so I need to have 10 network cards, or maybe 20, it depends. So once the network the whole data center is ready, then they will start selling you services. They will start selling you with different prices, basic tier, standard tier, or premium. Our job is to get this VM. We need to get it up and running. So what we will do, we'll plan very carefully after costing. We can use Azure costing as well to plan Azure planning, that what will it cost us to have one virtual machine. In our scenario, we are going to have at least 3 virtual machines, one for our production site front end, one for our production site database, one for our staging, which is also on cloud. So yeah, so let's go through how this whole thing will work. At the moment, let me explain. On this side, left side, we have our own premises network, our firewall, Sonic Wall maybe, or we can use Cisco Pix Firewall, or Cisco. These days we are using Palo Alto. High availability, you can have 2 firewalls, you can have 3 or 4 WAN links to your ISPs. All right, and then you can use different type of routers, switches, Cisco 3850 switch, or yeah, if you are using couple of firewalls with multiple cards, like 8 ports or 16 ports firewall, a little bit higher end firewall, you don't need router, or if you need router, you can have router as well. And then you go for 10G LAN or different. You should also be planning Wi-Fi connectivity of your employees. These days everyone wants to be connected Wi-Fi wirelessly, yeah. So you can go for Ubiquiti or different type of or Cisco access points as well. You will build cluster of your high availability to servers, physical servers. You can use Dell or HP, and then you will install your operating system, Windows operating system. TFS means like Team Foundation Services. Team Foundation Services will be used for continuous deployment and version numbering, that who's writing the code, and what are the changes which are being made in which version of the code, so that you can go back and forth. You need to have different remote access services, monitoring services, network side, and of course, Active Directory side as well. You can use SolarWinds or any PRTG. You need to have backups for your developers, the code as well, their machines as well, and of course your network, your shares as well. So you can use go for Veeam, IP telephony. Cisco is the obvious choice. So for the attendance machines, you can go for Hikvision surveillance camera, Hikvision as well, UPS as well, generator, and air conditioning. Once you set up all your hardware, then you need to have different teams. For example, you have managers, developers, front end, back end, and payment developers, SCM, software configuration manager, which will be using TFS to control versions and push your code on your cloud as well, database specialist, QA team, marketing team, business intelligence. Azure is providing Power BI tool, artificial intelligence, deep learning, machine learning, mobile developers, and iOS developers. Once everything, you are spending some time in design, and then your application is looking a little bit ready, yeah, then you'll be doing testing on local developer machine. Once the developer is sure that his code is good enough, he will push the code to your IS, which is running on your servers in your on-premises network. IS will be showing all the results on local LAN area, that what is the website, how it looks like, or how the application is being run, and once you think it's a little bit it's okay, the testing is approved, then you go ahead and push it on your cloud. Okay, let's see how these employees can work. These employees can connect with LAN interface, with Wi-Fi, and of course they can go home and work on their own machines as well. Once they are at home, they'll be using they have some multiple options. They can use VPN, which will provide them a second IP, a local LAN IP of their office, so that they can access their machines, their computers in the office directly from sitting from home. You can use Windows Remote Access from there, and you can use a Fortinet or a Sonic Wall, third-party tools, which will allow you to connect from home. They will have the client installed there on their home machines. They can connect directly via firewall. The setting, the users will be created here, or you can use the integrated users from the Active Directory. I think it's better to use Active Directory users, or you can simply allow them port forwarding, RDP, remote access. So you need to allow different ports and different protocols. Yeah. Okay, once you're all connected and you're working, your work is ready, other team, the designer is planning how can they move on cloud. Okay, if you want to go on cloud, you'll be selecting, let's say, standard or premium type. You need to find out which storage is preferable for you. You need to find out that, do you need firewall, you need to create access list, or you can use your firewall from here, because Azure Cloud will automatically provide you with the firewall, which few ports will be allowed, few ping is not allowed, RDP is allowed. Let's suppose if you have IS port 80 is allowed, so you need to select and think that you want to use the basic infrastructure of Azure Cloud, their own built-in firewall, or you need to have your own firewall. Yeah, if you want to have your own firewall, in any case, all cases, once you go there and try to purchase a virtual machine, it will give you the prices, the range, the costing monthly and yearly, or pay as you go. At that time, once you create your virtual machine, it will ask you which zone you want. You will select like Europe or UK if they have data center in UK, because you need very less latency, very low latency from the users who are connecting from UK directly. So you purchase 1 VM and 2 and 3, and then you need to select which type of storage you need. They have file storage, blob storage, which is like you can create all type of folders, and raw data can be saved there, all type of files. You have queues, which are like good for your FIFO or LIFO methods. You have different type of service buses as well, or you can have table, or you can have Cosmos DB, which will grow if you think your DB will grow very quickly, so you can have Cosmos DB. But in this case, we are using SQL, blob, and file shares. Once you create your virtual machine, this virtual machine will lie somewhere on this hardware, Azure Cloud hardware, which is sitting in UK in their data center, which is owned by Azure, Microsoft Azure Cloud. You don't know which network, which path you are using. You just have the main path of your Azure Cloud. Once you go there, you will be getting a public IP automatically assigned to your VM, so that you can access your VM. Once you create your VM, you will be it will automatically create a resource group, and all the default firewall rules will be applied. So then you have different type of availability sets there, two machines availability set, or you have for example different update domain or fall domain. Yeah, or it usually, you know, whenever you create a VM, it has a backup VM as well, because Microsoft Azure is creating backups of all your activities and VMs. either it will give you the backup or not. That depends on the tier, the resources you have selected and how much you are paying them. Once you have your VM, it will be in the resource group, and then you need to plan that either you need to have firewall. You can have third-party firewalls as well, their own firewall as well. Of course it will be virtual, but it will look and act like it's physical. You can have network security group. You can have you can install and buy and have multiple routers and switches there, local network gateway as well. This is all virtual, yeah. Local network gateway will be used to connect different virtual machines in different resource groups, or it can manage different subnets as well. So your VM, let's suppose all three VMs have two interfaces, network cards and double IPs. Of course you can purchase and purchase a dedicated static public IP for your virtual machine as well, other than the one they give you. So every virtual machine has two VNets, and let's suppose you create two VM, which is for one for your production, one for your front end, and one for your back end, which is database, in one subnet, and your staging is on the second subnet. Why you need staging? I think staging is really important to test your code before it go to production. Staging will allow you to test your application on live environment, which is present on the cloud. So if the code has any errors, mistakes, or it is compatible with your on the Azure cloud, you will know exactly what's going on. And of course staging is really important. Third virtual machine, which is called staging, where you are running your application for the first time on Azure cloud. You publish directly, your SCM will publish directly the code, hold the code on staging, and after the staging it will go on the final stage, which is production, which is being used by the customers. On staging, the customer team, the team which is paying you money, the owner of the requirement, they will be also able to test. Their team can do the testing, your team can do the testing, so both parties will be happy. Only then the final release will be going on your production environment. So that is how you will be linked. You will have VNets, two different subnets connected with your local network gateway, and then you have firewall, then you have virtual network gateway, which will connect different resource groups, or maybe if you want to facilitate Australian customers as well, North American customers as well, you purchase 3 VMs on 2 VMs, let's suppose, in North America, and then 2 VMs, 2 virtual machines on your Australian data center. So all these 6 production VMs, 3 different locations, 3 zones, you can connect them via virtual network gateway. So they will be acting redundantly. Wherever the request will come, it will shift the request towards that data center, that and you will be customer will only enter, let's suppose, London medical services, London video call services. So once they enter this in their browser, they will be directed towards the right location, which is nearest to them. Okay, so now we have discussed all physical layer and overlay layer, the network layer, and the virtualization layer. Now we discussed what is Azure providing. Azure is providing peering as well, high availability scaling services, scale out or scale up. Scale out, for example, you need to, if your users are exceeding from a certain limit, you will configure Azure to double your virtual machines. So everything you do will be double. It will have double capacity to handle the requirements. Scale up means it will increase the number of cores, RAM and storage of your virtual machine. Azure Monitor will provide you the logs, the details, the matrices, that how many users, what are the errors coming up, and your application is running smoothly or not. Cost management, Azure is providing cost management services. It has its own Active Directory infrastructure, multi-factor authentication as well, certificates, keys. If you need a direct access to your blob storage, it will generate your connection string key which you can give to your admins so that they can write or read, or you can give it to your database guy as well so that they can directly download and upload data from your cloud. It has recovery vaults. If you want to change or migrate any services from one machine to another, you can use services vaults as well, recovery services vaults. Okay, now let's move forward. Once you have your application ready on staging, testing is done, you will push it directly on your production virtual machine, front end and of course back end. Back end means your database, front end means where your IS is managing the requests on your Windows operating system, which is running on your virtual machine. You have purchased it on Azure cloud in United Kingdom. All of you are sitting here in Lahore and trying to build code, approve it, do the quality testing, and then push it on your staging, which is on Azure, and final testing will be done here on Azure cloud, and finally the application will go on your virtual machine, which is in UK, of course. Now you need to understand that how this whole thing will work. If you want to learn more about Azure, and you need to go through these tools I have written here, and of course you should be able to Azure provide a lot of different cross-platform tools, Azure Connect as well, CLI as well, database query, warehouse, backups, Postman is a different one actually. AZ copy is really useful, migration tool is really useful, price calculator, VM ready. If you want to move one VM from other on premises or from Azure, you need to bring one VM from there to your local premises. You can use this Linux agent if you want to go towards Linux, or PowerShell. If you know PowerShell, you will be able to configure, deploy and move a lot of things, get a lot of monitoring values as well, debugging values directly from your Azure on your machine without using any portal or anything like that. Okay, now let's talk about Azure portal. You have your Active Directory in your premises. You can build and create different type of users on Azure as well, and use Azure dir sync, dir sync, directory sync tool from Azure to sync your same users on Azure Active Directory as well. So if you're using dir sync, directory sync on Azure Active Directory, it will be using OpenID authentication protocol, and you can also set different type of throttling, that how many requests you want to serve. If the requests are overwhelmed, you want to stop or wait, or create a buffer, or scale out or scale up. So if you have any questions, let me know. I'll be explaining platform as service later on in next week. Maybe I will create a video where we can shift all this on cloud on level 2. So this is our on-premises network, this is our cloud network, virtualized, and then we are using their own built-in services. We have WAN links going on between them. This is our design and requirement, where customers were able to connect from their local machines to our application, which is running on IS web server, sitting on Azure cloud. They were able to make video calls to the doctors on different assigned appointments. If you have any question, let me know. I can explain you a little bit more about the infrastructure, the IPs, the protocols which you need to use, and how to establish. And try to go through all these tools as well, and at least install a few of them. And subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much. Cheers. Bye.